What's up, everybody? Welcome. Move the Sticks 360. Daniel Jeremiah, joined as always by my partner Bucky Brooks. And Bucky, this might be the most excited I am for any guest we've had on our series. We've had a lot of the top players in this entire draft class, but this is the one I've been looking forward to because we have German wide receiver Moritz Boehringer. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining us in here. This story, I think, is the best story in this entire draft class, Bucky. And I want it for those at home that aren't familiar with your story. You get here in America on the 29th of February, and then it's just been a whirlwind since then. But I want to go back before that. How long have you been playing football, and how did you get into football?
I've been playing football since 5 years, and I basically started with watching a highlight tape of Adrian Peterson on YouTube.
So you're like Justin Bieber, in that your careers both launched because of YouTube. So you're just at home, and what, Adrian Peterson's YouTube, it's just like, hey, you should check this out, or how did you even come across it?
I think it was a recommended video on the site of, I don't know what I watched before, but it was just recommended, and I clicked on it, and I liked it.
What was it about Adrian Peterson that kind of attracted you to football?
Just the way he runs with the ball. Just how violent and just his speed when he gets free.
So you looked at that and said, I want to do that, but it's not easy. I mean, you got to find a team. You got to find somewhere to play. So how do you end up going from watching some Adrian Peterson on YouTube to then actually playing the sport?
Yeah, I searched for a team in Germany, and I found one in my hometown. But we only had 7 players, 7 or 9.
So what'd you do then?
Yeah, we just practiced a bit, and after half a year, we all went to Kreilsheim, which is about 25 miles from my hometown.
Okay.
We played there.
So then you found a team. Now, the team that you end up playing on this last year, I'm going to let you pronounce it because I will just completely butcher it. But let's tell us the name of the team.
It's called Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns.
The last word I did know.
Unicorns.
The Unicorns. That's the best nickname of any sports team that I've ever heard of. Now, give me an idea. I know you put up monster numbers there. I think you got over 12 touchdowns, over almost 1,300 yards. But how long have you been with that particular team, and how did your team do?
Yeah, I've been with this team for 1 year. It was my first year in the Division 1 in Germany, and we finished second in the German Football League and second in the Big Six, which is kind of a European championship.
Now, Bucky, flip around here because these highlights.
Oh, I know.
We've got them up here, and I got to tell you, man, when I flipped it on, I did not know what to expect, and it's clearly, look, you are bigger and faster than everybody else out on that football field, but I was shocked at just the number of different routes. We're seeing you take some underneath stuff and explode. But I was shocked, Bucky, when I watched it. Man, they had you running posts. Obviously, post goes. I saw some slants. I saw some double moves. I saw back shoulder fade. So, man, you got a lot of experience over there in Germany.
Yeah, we basically run every route, and yeah.
You know, the big thing when I looked at this tape with this montage, what I liked, obviously, the athleticism stands out on tape. You see the physicality, the toughness, being able to catch the ball over the middle there with defenders in close proximity, catching the ball naturally with your hands, strong hands. Obviously, because you're still new to the sport, there's some stuff that we have to work on in terms of route running, but in terms of just a raw specimen, someone that coaches would be excited to work with, certainly there's a lot of developmental potential there when you just look at the tape and the footage.
All right, before we get to your pro day, which really launched the hype here, and everybody's getting very interested in you. You've got a lot of team visits set up, and it's really been a fun process here. But you started training when you got here late February. You're down in Boca Raton. You're down there with Tony Villani, who's trained a bunch of guys. You know, he gets guys ready for the draft every year. But you're down there with some established NFL starters down there. Tell the folks who you've been working out with.
Pierre Gasson is there, and Aquan Baldwin is there too.
What did these are two great veteran receivers? Have they worked with you, and have they taught you any of the finer points of playing the position?
Yeah, I had a long session with Pierre Gasson about press releases, because I never really faced it in Germany, and I know I have to be ready for it in the NFL. And he was nice to me and taught me some stuff.
So you picked it up just as he's teaching you.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, I think what's remarkable to have a guy that hasn't plate, like a limited resume when it comes to playing football, but then to create kind of the buzz around your name, because the pro day was remarkable. When you hear this, and we hear this all
the numbers.
the time.
Do we have the numbers, by the way?
Yeah,
Can we put up the numbers from
we see
his
this
pro day?
We see this stuff all the time as scouts. We go on the road, and there's someone that pops, and just looking at your physical dimensions, 6'4.5", 227 pounds, 4'4", 40, 39-inch vertical, almost 11 feet in the broad jump. You see the short shuttles and stuff. As a scout, you get excited because you're like, oh, I may have found somebody. Just from an athletic standpoint, those things are intriguing enough to bring you back. And I know we've talked about you being on the tour and a number of different visits. Who are some of the teams that you visited? How many teams do you have kind of on your calendar to go see?
Last week first team I visited was the Kansas City Chiefs, and then I went to Minnesota and Green Bay. This week I have LA Rams and Seattle Seahawks, and next week New Orleans, Atlanta, and Carolina.
That's a good bit of the league right there.
It's a lot of work.
Now, first of all, before we go on, do you have any kind of a nickname? Have you any nickname growing up, or is anything that people call you for short, or is it just
No, here just they call me Mo.
Mo?
Oh,
Because
That's
I
easy.
can pronounce it, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm going with Mo. I'm going to go with Mo. Now, what was the reaction? I think we have some video footage of your pro day, because this is when I first started hearing about you and when the buzz really started to build. We saw those numbers that you put up here. But what was the reaction? Because I know we're both former scouts, Mo. So before the pro day, we might start talking to guys and maybe trying to recruit them because we think they might be undrafted. Did you get a different feel or reaction from the scouts before the pro day and versus after the pro day when you put up these amazing numbers?
Yeah, after the pro day, just everybody came to congratulate me, and I really didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's when everything. Look, I started getting phone calls. We talked about it a little bit on path to the draft, but the buzz really started to pick up. Has there been a question that they've asked you on the visits that you've already had? What's the most interesting or a different question that they've hit you with? Anything kind of surprised you?
No, it's basically always the same about my background. They just want to get some information.
Did they now you've played some tight end as well. You
Yeah.
play with your hand. Are any of the teams looking at you as a tight end?
I think maybe Atlanta, maybe some other teams, but I will just go there and play the position they want me to play.
So you're okay. It doesn't matter what position. Now, what about did you get to play any defense at all in Germany? Because as a backup receiver, as you're just getting your feet wet and getting started in the NFL, they're going to ask you to be on punt coverage.
Yep.
You're going to be on kickoff coverage. You're going to go tackle people. I assume if you liked
Especially-
Adrian Peterson, that violent the nature, then you won't have any problem going down there tackling people.
No, I played special teams in Germany, and the team I was before the Kreilsheim, I played defense, cornerback, and safety.
Ooh.
And yeah,
Did you like playing on defense?
yeah, it was pretty easy because they had no quarterbacks who could throw.
Well, there's certainly skills that can translate. You talk about special teams. His experience playing cornerback and safety will help him. You talk about punt cover, kickoff cover.
Yeah, I played
Those
that
things.
in-
Those
at
things
the
will be
Unicorns,
essential
yeah.
to being able to make it. I'm really intrigued because I wonder, what were the private workouts like when teams had a chance to get around you? Did you have to run routes and catch passes? What was that stuff like on your visits?
No, on my visits I didn't have to do any workouts. I had a second big workout on Friday, just before I came here. And there were, I think, 9 coaches from different teams, and yeah, they just made me run routes, catch the ball, and stuff like that.
How'd it go?
Some blocking, pretty good.
Good.
Had one drop.
That's
which
okay.
kinda pissed
That's
me.
all right. We can live with one drop.
Now, did you get to meet? I understand, like Teddy Bridgewater. Was he at the workout?
Yeah, he came to the workout.
Did you
but
get a chance
just
to
watched.
visit? Did you get to visit with him at all? Talk to him at all?
I just said hello and just.
Yeah. Now, who is your team? Do you have a favorite team? Adrian Peterson is your player, but how about a favorite team to watch?
Yeah, in Germany I like to watch the Vikings.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The Vikings, you can't screw this up.
Yeah, you
now,
can't.
by
They
the
can't
way.
mess it
I mean,
up.
This is all set up for you here.
Teddy Bridgewater there. Teddy Bridgewater watching the workout.
Yeah,
His
I mean,
team,
it's
Adrian Peterson is still there. His favorite player.
You know what's going to happen, Mo? You're going to go to the Packers.
Yeah, you got to play against him.
You're going to go to
You
the
have,
Packers.
you got to fall into that hated rivalry between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers.
And you're okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, favorite German athlete?
Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
You could probably give me a bunch of soccer players and me and Bucky wouldn't know. Too.
Nope. Maybe TD behind the glass.
Yeah, our producer's a big soccer fan. He'd be able to tell you. I think let's show some video, by the way, of some comparisons. I've never really had to make a comparison based solely off of a YouTube tape. But I remember, when I think back to Eric Decker when he was coming out, Bucky out of Minnesota, I saw somebody that I thought was big. I thought he was physical. He could play over the top of people. Mo, I see you do that on the back shoulder fade that I talked about. But just how big and how strong Eric Decker is. And Decker could also really get vertical. Look at how crisp his route running is.
That was a nice route.
Now, are you familiar at all with Eric Decker?
Yeah, I know him. Just from seeing him play.
What would you say if I was going to ask you what's the best thing about your game? I talk about Eric Decker with the size and physicality. If I said, all right, Mo, what's the thing you do best? What would you say?
I think just the combination of speed and size, and I think I can catch a ball okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
By the way, on your highlight tape, it's a highlight tape, so I don't see any drops. Just be honest. I trust you, okay? I trust you. How many drops do you think you had this year?
6, 7, something like that.
Okay, I was going to say, the test on that is, do you need more than 2 hands to count them? So it's 6, so you did. That's good.
We can do that. It's funny because when I first got word about your pro day workout and I got a chance to look at the YouTube video, it reminded me of a scout of going back and Drew Bennett, who was right here in LA at UCLA, who then played for the Tennessee Titans and the St. Louis Rams, now the LA Rams for a while. And Bennett was a guy who's an explosive athlete. He was a former volleyball player, did a great job of snatching the ball at his highest point and winning those contested matchups. When I look at you, I absolutely believe that you can kind of grow into being that kind of player. This is a guy that put up a lot of production, was physical, did a great job of snatching balls like this. You think you can make some of these plays? You think you can make some of these plays at the next level?
Yeah.
He's confident.
Yeah, we certainly hope that because, when we look at the numbers suggest that you should be able to do all of this kind of stuff and even be a more superior athlete and maybe even a superior player to do better.
We talked about Adrian Peterson's your favorite player. The Vikings is your favorite team. I assume it's just a Vikings receiver, but who's your favorite receiver to watch?
Right now in the NFL,
how about give me both? Your favorite to watch right now, and maybe somebody that's not playing anymore.
right now I like AJ Green.
Oh, AJ Green's a good one.
That's a good one to model.
How about, is there anybody that used to play it maybe?
Yeah, Randy Moss.
Of course. He's going to go with the
Viking.
Viking with Randy Moss. Vikings, don't screw this up. This is all on a tee for you here. Oh, there he is, Randy Moss.
Is that why you wear 84?
Right behind us.
Is that why? Is that where you wore 84?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, this is going to be fun, man. I am so excited to follow your journey and where you end up. Just know that we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks,
as you go through the process. Just promise us you'll come back here once you become Randy Moss. You come back in here on Move the Sticks. All right?
Yeah, of
all
course.
Right. That's Mo. I'm going with Mo. Mo here joining us on Move the Sticks 360. By far my favorite 360 episode. But you can catch all of our 360 series. Go to NFL.com/MoveTheSticks360. We've had a lot of the top players in this draft sitting in that chair right there, but none more interesting than this one.